This video is intended for the Spanish classes at Madison Academic. This video is to show you how you can set your computer up to type in accent marks, which you're going to have to do as you are taking your Spanish courses here. So very quickly I'll show you how you can set your computer up to type with accent marks. And in the end you're going to see these options down here next to your time so that you can type in the United States International Keyboard here. This is not actually a different language but a different keyboard input. So in the end, if I pull up a sample document here, I'll show you what these accent marks will look like here quickly, and then I'll show you how to make those changes. So the accent marks in Spanish go over the vowels, and they always go up. So here with A, E, I, O, and U, you can see each one with its accent mark there. But there are also other characters in Spanish that we don't have in English, such as the upside down question mark or the double dot. Now the way that you make these accent marks is very simple and it's very easy. And by changing the input method rather than the language, you retain the basic function of your keyboard, so that the keys that you see as they're labeled is what the key is going to type on the actual screen. If you were to change the actual language setting of the keyboard and not the input method, then you would actually be reconfiguring the entire keyboard itself. So in order to do this, we have to go to our settings menu, and then we're going to go to the time and language options. From there, we go to the region and language options, and then to the additional date, time, and regional settings. And then under the section where we have language, we're going to go to change input methods. Again, we want to change the input method and not necessarily add a language to the keyboard. So we're going to change input methods, and then we'll go to options. And here on my computer you can see where I've already added the input method that I use to type in accent marks. But when you don't have that, you go to add an input method and then search United States up here in the browser. And you'll see at the bottom United States International Keyboard Layout. Now it says touch keyboard layout, but that's still going to function for the actual keyboard itself and not the on-screen keyboard. So you'll click on that, then you'll click add, and we will just kind of save, and that should be all that we have to do. And at that point you should see popping up at the bottom of your screen the option for you to go back and forth between English US keyboard and English United States International keyboard. So the international keyboard is what's going to enable you to type in accent marks. So how to do that once you're in English International? First off, by pressing Control and Shift at the same time, you can go back and forth between the two input methods. So I'm going to press Control Shift here, and there you saw the keyboard input change there. I'm going to press it again, and that's just a little keyboard shortcut there that will let you go back and forth between the keyboards. To type any vowel with an accent, you simply type a single quote followed by the vowel. So any vowel, and that will give you that vowel with the accent mark going over it. Now there is a way to do accent marks going down if you're interested in that. This is not an accent mark that Spanish uses, but you can utilize that, and that is produced by the key at the top left of your keyboard next to the number 1 followed by the vowel. So it's the same method as the previous accent mark, except it's a different key. Instead of the single quote that is next to the enter key, you're going to use the apostrophe next to the number 1. Again, this is not an accent mark in Spanish, so please don't get confused there. Accent marks in Spanish always ascend rather than descend. If you want to learn how to make the ñ, the N with the squiggly line, then you'll follow the same pattern here where you'll type the accent plus or followed by the letter, and this is going to be the tilde, which is shift, and then the same apostrophe mark next to the number 1 from the previous accent, followed by the N. So the N squiggly line there, if you press them in succession, will give you the ñ. The only other accent mark in Spanish that you'll ever need to know, and this is for very few words, is the double dot. In English we call it the diéresis, and this is used in Spanish in a few words such as vergüenza or Nicaraguan. Vergüenza is something like shame or embarrassment, and this is produced by typing the double quote, which is shift and the single quotes button, followed by the vowel, and you can do it over any vowel as well. So the double quote followed by a vowel will give you the double dot. Spanish will only use this with the U. So, all right, well, that is how you type in accent marks in Spanish. I hope that you're able to figure out how to do this for yourself pretty easily. And that's all for now. If you have any questions, let me know. Thank you. Bye.